Welcome back to The Explainer. Let's just dive right into this, because today we are looking at an absolute high-stakes desert survival thriller. We're going to examine the daily reality of one of nature's most resilient creatures. You know, when we think of the wild, we usually picture dramatic lion hunts on the African savanna, or maybe the deep mysteries of the ocean. But right here, across the vast deserts of North America, there's this incredible, invisible war being waged every single day. We're going to unpack the science, the environment, and the sheer biological willpower it takes for a mother roadrunner to keep her family alive against what honestly seem like completely impossible odds. To really get the story, we first have to understand the arena. And that arena is defined by one single number, 100. During the day, the temperature across the North American desert regularly soars past 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, 100 degrees in a desert isn't like a hot summer day in a humid city. No, this is a baking, relentless, utterly dry heat that fundamentally alters how life functions. It literally strips moisture from the landscape and forces every single living creature out there into an extreme state of energy conservation. Just stepping out into this environment puts the body under immense physiological stress. But here's the thing. The desert is an environment of vicious extremes. The exact moment the sun dips below the horizon, all that baking heat just evaporates right up into the atmosphere. The nights bring this unexpected, punishing chill, and that creates a completely brutal 24-hour cycle. Any creature living out here isn't just surviving the heat, they are surviving a massive daily swing in temperature that tests the absolute limits of their biological endurance. You basically have to be built for both the furnace and the freezer, sometimes within a matter of just a few hours. Here is where the whole dynamic completely flips. We know the mother is this formidable, highly adapted desert warrior, right? But tucked away, hidden deep inside the thorny branches of a cholla cactus, is a small nest sheltering three incredibly fragile, defenseless chicks. They don't have her powerful legs. They definitely don't have her lightning reflexes. They are completely and utterly vulnerable, and they essentially act as an anchor, tying this highly mobile bird to one specific, highly dangerous location. The sheer reality of her situation is perfectly captured by this single thought. Every sprint across the desert is no longer just about finding food, it's about making it back home. When she leaves that thorny cholla cactus to go hunt, the clock instantly starts ticking. She isn't just a predator out on the prowl anymore. She is a guardian who just left her most precious assets completely undefended. The stakes of every single movement she makes are raised from simple hunger to absolute life and death for her next generation. So what exactly is she up against out there? Let's trace the daily timeline she faces. It is a literal daily gauntlet of threats. At midday, she's battling the scorching heat. By the afternoon, predators like scent-tracking coyotes begin their patrols. At dusk, she has to suddenly manage that unexpected chill we talked about, which deeply threatens her warm-blooded chicks. And by nightfall, an entirely different kind of terror emerges in the form of western diamondback rattlesnakes. It is a relentless, rotating shift of predators and elemental dangers. Section 1. Daytime Escalation, the Relentless Heat and the Coyote. When that sun comes up, the desert floor turns into an active war zone dictated by just one word: heat, 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 heat. It's this invisible enemy that dictates absolutely everything. The heat drains the mother's energy as she hunts. It threatens to bake those fragile chicks in the nest if they aren't properly shaded and hydrated. The oppressive nature of the desert sun means that every single action the mother takes costs her precious calories and water that she can barely afford to lose. But, the danger doesn't just come from the environment. Enter the coyote. This specific predator possesses an absolutely extraordinary sense of smell. They don't even need to see the nest. They can follow the faintest scent trails left behind by the mother, straight to her home deep within the cactus. So the really crucial point here is that one careless moment, just one poorly chosen path back to the nest, or one lingering scent could literally erase everything she has fought so hard to protect. She has to outsmart a predator that can essentially see with its nose. Section 2. Nighttime Climax, Shadows and the Rattlesnake. Now, if she actually manages to navigate the heat and completely outwit those coyotes, the sun eventually sets. But guess what? Relief does not come. As the unexpected chill settles over the sand, an entirely new cast of characters takes the stage. When darkness falls, a completely different predator quietly awakens. Let's look at the mechanics of this hunt. Step 1. The western diamondback rattlesnake slips silently from its rocky shelter. Unlike those frantic daytime dashes of the coyote, the snake is incredibly methodical and utterly soundless. Step 2. It glides seamlessly across the now-cooled desert sand. And Step 3. Its forked tongue constantly flicks out, sampling the air, tasting the chemical signatures of potential prey. It is actively searching for the scent of its next meal in pitch blackness. Just think a second. They are way too young to defend themselves. They're practically blind in the dark. A snake doesn't need to trigger some massive commotion to ruin this family. For these defenseless chicks, a single, silent encounter in the dead of night could determine the fate of the entire family before the mother even has a chance to react. It's a terrifying, invisible threat that requires constant, silent vigilance. Section 3. An unrelenting survival struggle. By looking at these threats one by one, we can really start to piece together the absolute puzzle of this mother roadrunner's daily life. I mean, let's just recap the sheer volume of obstacles she faces. Sandstorms that can blind and disorient, scorching heat that can dehydrate and kill, coyotes tracking her every footstep, rattlesnakes hunting her family in the pitch black. And remember, these are just some of the challenges this small family has to overcome. This isn't a one-off event. This is the checklist she faces every single day from sunrise to sunset and back to sunrise all over again. So the biggest takeaway for us here is just a profound respect for this creature. The mother roadrunner's existence is this breathtaking journey shaped by pure biological instinct and literally sheer endurance. It is an unrelenting struggle to survive in one of the harshest landscapes on Earth. It's not just about running fast, right? It's about outthinking, outlasting, and outmaneuvering a hostile world that throws everything it has at her 24 hours a day. It really kind of puts our own daily stresses into perspective, doesn't it? As we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought. With danger lurking in the blinding heat, the shifting sand, and the darkest shadows, how long could you endure the mother roadrunner's journey? It's just a fascinating look at the absolute extremes of parenthood and survival in the natural world. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you on the next